Hey team, it's Charlie. So hopefully you guys have had a chance to watch the S.H.I.E.L.D. premiere. If not, I think it should be on ABC's website by now. People in the UK, I know everyone's asking, Channel 4 has not officially announced a premiere date for you guys other than October, which is kind of vague. I think you guys were about 4 weeks behind during season 1, so tentatively plan for October 14th because that's when episode 4 drops in the United States. I'd recommend that any of you who just feel like you absolutely cannot wait, just find a way to watch it on abc.com. This video is going to be a Q&A just to follow up on some of the really big reveals and big questions from that episode. Careful for spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. I'll wait just a sec. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. It's a bit windy asks, do you think Simmons will only be a hallucination or will she come back as a main cast member? So yes, she's totally coming back for real, not just as a hallucination. The third episode is kind of a sequel to the Seeds episode from last year. It's supposed to feature the same actor that turned into Blizzard, the kid from S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy that was in that Seeds episode that got special powers. In the comics, his name is Donnie Gill. Since that was a very Fitzsimmons-centric episode, I'm guessing we'll find out what she's been up to. I'm not actually sure what her character is doing right now, but she's still very much a part of the show, like the actress that plays her is still a main cast member. As for future hallucinations, I think they'll continue off and on until Fitz gets his own big episode where they address it head on. Like at some point, one of the characters is going to have to catch him in the act and call him on it. I'm really hoping, I'm not expecting this, but I'm really hoping that the Kraken character offers to fix his brain in exchange for help. Like that would be a crazy twist for his character. Question number 2, Low Buffalo asks, I just watched Winter Soldier and wondered why none of the Avengers helped out. I feel like everybody actually had this question at some point. They said they'd directly address it during the plot of Age of Ultron. Kevin Feige himself said the script addresses why they were too busy to help in Winter Soldier. From a practical standpoint, they weren't going to pay to put all those actors in Winter Soldier. I feel like everybody understands that. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's Chris Evans' movie, and having them in there would have turned it into an Avengers movie, not a Captain America movie. So, from another standpoint, it would have completely overshadowed him. I do kind of think it's implied that Captain America maintains loose contact with the Earth-based Avengers. Like he watches the news, he saw what was going on with the Mandarin. Everyone had the exact same type of questions after Iron Man 3. They were like, where is S.H.I.E.L.D.? How come they weren't helping? Basically, during Winter Soldier, this Hydra plot was getting started. So the people in charge who were responsible for sending aid to Tony Stark, or who could have sent aid, were either Hydra agents or were too busy being sent on wild goose chases by other Hydra agents. S.H.I.E.L.D. was basically collapsing from the inside out, so it was in no position to help. I know it's all a little confusing, but each new movie is, supposed to explain why other big obvious things didn't happen in previous movies. Question number 3. Nathan Zimmerman asks, do you think Lucy Lawless's character is dead? This is actually a good question. Lucy Lawless did an interview and basically said anything is possible. What I think that means is that either they have a plan for her and they're just saving it for a big reveal, or inside the writer's room, they just left it open-ended so that they could turn it into something later if they wanted. It's pretty common for TV shows to do something like that with a character with only part of a plan in place, especially if it's a guest character, like someone really big and really expensive to bring on the show. I feel like the worst thing they could do is publicly say, she's dead, we killed her off, she's not coming back. That would just be a huge waste of a character. I think they're just going to leave things open so they can do whatever they want with the character later. What I'd like to see is either a modified Carol Danvers arc where she gets infused with some kind of cosmic power, or they do something more practical, like give her some cybernetic parts from Stark Industries and just make her super pissed off and super strong. What I'm saying is I want more female superheroes on the show with superpowers. S.H.I.E.L.D. is one of those rare shows with a fairly equal ratio of female badasses to male badasses. That's one of the things I feel like it does really, really well. Some of you actually suggested in the comments that mystery alien code isn't just Kree. It's like some universal cosmic language that transcends all the Marvel alien races, which would arguably make it even more important than a Kree reveal. If that's the case, it would definitely open the door for cosmic powers, and even though I think Guardians has the first crack at that, I think Marvel will use S.H.I.E.L.D. to lay some of the groundwork. If you remember way back when Clark Gregg used to talk about his character Agent Coulson, he said that Kevin Feige and Joss Whedon explained to him that he was the glue that was holding the Avengers together. It's possible Marvel will use this cosmic code as the glue to bind all of the Marvel Universe shows and movies, including Guardians and all the space-based characters like Thanos and the Infinity Gems. It's just something to think about, but at some point, the cosmic stories and the Earth-based stories will have to collide. Question number 4. Ketchup Ryan asks, how do you think the Kraken kept himself from aging? So I'm guessing it's something related to or a derivative of the super soldier serum. There are still a few technologies that Marvel hasn't unveiled in the movies and TV shows yet. Centipede and Hydra tech from last year was just the beginning. Clearly he's been keeping himself near the age when we saw him in the 1940s. At that time, the only known causes for things like that were the super soldier serum and the Tesseract. Remember, in that scene, they had said that the Red Skull was already dead, so this was after they had lost the cube. I think the Winter Soldier actually offers some clues into this. If you remember, Bucky Barnes was captured by the Red Skull and experimented on. That's the reason in Winter Soldier the movie that he's still really young. It's because of whatever the Red Skull did to him. They didn't fully explain it, but he was given a derivative of the super soldier serum. We didn't really see any of this happen in the movie, but it happened before Captain America rescued Bucky and before he fell off that train. So I'm guessing the serum they gave to him is also what Kraken has been using. It could totally be something else though, like something new that the show is going to introduce. They wouldn't do something big like that on TV if they weren't going to explain it, so eventually just plan for Kraken himself to do an evil guy monologue and explain why he's still young. So Agent Carter took him into custody at the end of that clip. Does anybody wonder if they gave him the same deal that they gave to Arnim Zola, where they basically allowed Nazi scientists to work for the United States in exchange for leniency? Maybe that's what he's been doing this whole time, working for the United States government in the guise of Dr. Whitehall. On to question number 5. Rick T says, it seemed like the Hydra person in the Agent Carter scene was addressed as Heinrich. Could it be Baron Zemo keeping himself young, and could he be Skye's father? So I rewatched the scene a couple times and I actually heard Reinhardt, but it's totally possible that Skye's father is Baron Zemo. I'm really hoping they save that character for the Agent Carter show though. Baron Zemo is one of the few major Hydra characters that they haven't used in the movies or TV shows yet, and Agent Carter will need its own big villain for that show. I actually saw that a bunch of people were tweeting during the episode about Masters of Evil. I don't think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing Baron Zemo and Masters of Evil, but it would be totally amazing. If anybody has any genie wishes, please burn one to get Masters of Evil on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What I really think is going on with Skye's father is that he's tied up in the Hydra plot, whether he's connected to Red Skull or Kraken or he's a neutral third party. He was calmly sitting in blood in the finale. Look at his hand right here. He just seems like he's chilling out. That is not something a nice person does. It makes me feel like Skye isn't half Kree, like half alien or anything like that. She's just been modified as a result of all the Hydra testing, the Tesseract energy, and the super soldier serum. It's also totally possible that she could be related to some sort of Inhumans plot, but I feel like Hydra is just much more practical, like they've already established it, so it just makes more sense to use something in that universe. On to question number 6. Razor asks, do you think we'll see more Deathlock this season? I don't expect to see him. The actor that plays him, J. August Richards, got cast on another network show that's starting next year. He might get a small cameo, but it seems like the actor's mostly going to be busy making this new show, so I'm not expecting to see him. Question number 7. Atalia asks, do you think the 084 device is an Infinity Stone? No, but I do think that it's somehow connected to the Infinity Quest in a meta way. When I say Infinity Quest, I mean it's a link between Thanos, the gems, the cosmic code, this, Kree code or cosmic code, whatever it might be, and all the Earth-based Marvel stories. I think it's just a way for the writers to start connecting all these big things in the Marvel universe, laying groundwork for future crossovers in the movies and TV. The other really big theory is that it could be a Terrigen crystal. The Kree were responsible for creating the Inhumans, so they could be establishing that plot too. It could have nothing to do with Thanos, absolutely nothing to do with Guardians of the Galaxy. It could just be about setting up the Inhumans. If any of you haven't been reading it, essentially Terrigenesis, or the Terrigen bomb that went off last year in the Infinity comic, is responsible for creating the new Miss Marvel. She's got her own ongoing comic right now that's actually pretty cool, so you guys should definitely check it out. It's on Comixology, it's really easy to find. It's just another backdoor to Skye, Miss Marvel type stuff. But question number 8. J-Mo asks, BJ Britt only appeared in the press for the first couple of episodes. Do you think they might kill him off? So BJ Britt, for those that don't know, is the actor that plays Trip. He was actually seen on the set of Avengers 2, so they're not killing him off. Supposedly he's going to be one of the crossover S.H.I.E.L.D. to Avengers 2 characters, but I think he might be going to wherever Simmons is going inside the show, and we'll just see him again whenever the story brings her back for real. On to question number 9, Anaya asks, do you think that Skye heard Ward when he mentioned her father? How do you think that's going to play out? I don't think that she heard him, but I do think that Ward is going to dangle it over her head. They cast Kyle MacLachlan as her father, so they have to introduce him at some point. I do wonder if Ward's going to tease him before the show reveals him in real life, like before he appears in the show. Ward is probably going to try and continue to use information about her father to keep Skye close. Clearly he still has feelings for her, but he does seem like he's playing both sides of the fence. Like he might use information about her father to try and get out of that cell. Question number 10, Charm for Life Karen asks, what do you think that May meant when she said she was the boss of Coulson, and what do you think her story arc will be this season? So last season it was revealed that she was spying for Nick Fury on Coulson ever since he'd been brought back to life. When she says she's the boss, I think she's implying that Nick Fury is still unofficially still the boss, and she's his number one when it comes to Coulson. So technically she has a little bit of power over Coulson. At the same time though, I think it was just them being informal with each other. Question number 11, Luna Rogers asks, who's your favorite S.H.I.E.L.D. character? I would say right now my favorite returning S.H.I.E.L.D. character is Skye, which is a big 180 from last season. I totally did not like her character that much till the last couple of episodes. I feel like it took her a while to develop that character last year. It feels like now she's the most self-aware, some nonsense, tough character. Like she's the character that's hitting all the bases. Like she can be funny and hardcore at the same time. May's character is kind of the same deal. You know, she can be funny, but she's mostly tough. I feel like Hollywood needs a lot more female characters like that. And right now, Skye and May are two of the closest templates. Like tough but funny lead female characters. As for my favorite new character though, it's not a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, it's actually the new villain Kraken. I'm really interested in learning more about him. Question number 12, No Gomez asks, do you think that Punisher could appear on S.H.I.E.L.D.? Marvel actually did just get the rights back from Fox, so they could totally do it if they wanted. I think it'll happen on TV first, and I think it's going to end up being in one of the Netflix series. It's just because they don't have to worry about ratings or broadcast standards or violence with the Netflix stuff. They can be as crazy as they want with it. The people working on Daredevil right now actually said it was going to be way more violent than the ABC shows. It just sounds like an environment better suited for the Punisher than network TV. Now that they have the rights back though, Marvel can drop references to Frank Castle whenever they want, wherever they want. Just for reference though, in terms of Punisher level violence, that scene at the end of season 1 where Clark Gregg splatters Bill Paxton with the 084 gun, I think that's about as gory as they can get on S.H.I.E.L.D. Let me know though, would you rather the Punisher show up in a Netflix series or do you want to see him on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? And do you think that the 084 device is something, Kree based, or is it something way, way bigger? While you think about that too, a couple really important reminders. In a couple weeks, starting with my S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 3 video, videos are going to start posting later at night, like midnight, 1 a.m. Pacific time, so just adjust based on whichever time zone you live in. That's basically when Flash and Arrow and a bunch of other stuff comes back. Next week will be just like this week though, so I'll probably do another Q&A. If you're brand new here, please subscribe to get everything. If you like to talk about Marvel, we would love to have you on the team. And one more real quick reminder, Star Wars Rebels is doing like a special preview episode on October 3rd. That's a Friday. So this Friday, I'm going to do a preview of that just to get everybody ready, just so everybody remembers it's happening. Right now though, click here to get my episode 1 S.H.I.E.L.D. video and click here to learn all about Vision in Avengers Age of Ultron. Thank you so much for watching everyone. So let's all high five and we'll meet back up tomorrow for some Arrow and Flash.